and the time is long overdue for us to raise the minimum wage, which is now at the federal level $7.25 an hour, which I think under any definition is a starvation wage. We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, and what we are here today to say is that living wage is $15 an hour.
You gotta love it. After all the posturing, the grandstanding, the lecturing, people who don't make $15 an hour cannot survive. That's not a living wage to be under $15 an hour. Every American worker needs to be guaranteed $15 an hour. That's what I'm campaigning on. That's what I'm running on. I'm going to make Congress do it. And these corporations and these businesses, they're going to write the checks. They're going to pay. Bernie Sanders, Mr. Democratic Socialist, who came to our attention 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when he was running against Hillary Rodham Clinton for the Democratic nomination. His big push was that $15 an hour. He's still on it, and it comes out over the weekend, but he's not paying his own staff that. In fact, when you add up the hours that the staff work, it averages out to about $12 an hour. Well, this became, shall we say, a little egg on the face of the Bernie campaign. So they decided to be very public about the fact we will now begin paying our staff members $15 an hour. I mean, there was a backlash, particularly from the left. I mean, we had members of the mainstream media who would be normally considered Bernie friendly, why they were convening their panels on their cable news shows talking about the fact that Bernie Sanders is having no problem raising money, so he's got money in the coffers. Why is he not paying his people better? So they made a big splash about the fact that the Sanders campaign now guarantees that all workers will be paid at least $15 an hour. And then not 24 hours later, they also released the fact that they will be cutting in half all of the hours of their workers. Hi, it's Pastor Marty with the Sunday edition of the Afternoon Drive here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, is this just blatant hypocrisy, or is this somebody who just honestly became a victim of his own promise made, but really didn't understand the means of how to deliver it because he had never really thought through the full consequence of what it was he was promising? And when the reality set in that he didn't financially have the means to make this happen, he had to go back on it? You know, I said this every time the Democrats proposing this new big hike in the national minimum wage, and especially when they got all over this $15 an hour. It's got to be $15 an hour. I said it then, and I say it now, and now Bernie is living proof. An employer has a certain percentage of the budget that they will say, this is for wages, this is for the help, this is for the worker. You can pay people $40 an hour, but they're not going to exceed that allotted dollar amount that they're willing to pay out for help. They'll just work with less help. They'll cut everybody's hours to the point that they are part-time in status, and then they're not obligated under the federal mandate of giving them $15 an hour. And that's exactly what Bernie has done. Oh, he'll give them their $15 an hour. And for a few hours, his staff thought, you mean we're finally not going to be paid poverty wages? Only to find out that once he cuts their hours, they're no better off than they are right now. And I hope this serves as a lesson to you progressive leftists, in particular you young ones, you millennials and younger. The Bernie Sanders, the Betos, the Yin Yang, Andrew Yang, and their promise of $1,000 to every single adult human being over the age of 18 in the United States. There is no such thing as free. That money has to come from somewhere. To simply say we're going to take it from this business and give it to you, that's socialism. That's government control. And then when Google, Yahoo have to start forking over that kind of money, well, they're going to start charging you for their service. No longer is their service free. So all that extra money you think you're going to be getting, you're going to be turning right around and paying service fees back to the evil corporations that gave it to you to begin with. In fact, they'll dream up ways to get their money back and twice the money back. And you will gladly fork it over because you can't live without the internet. You can't live without that technology. So when the Andrew Yangs and the Bernie Sanders talk about we're going to punish the evil corporations and these giants, and they've got, trillions of dollars at their disposal that they're just hoarding for themselves, and we're going to give it to you. It's exactly the same promises that the communists made to the Russian peasants. We're going to take care of you. We're going to give it to you. All this money that the Tsar is taking for himself, we're going to give it to you. And all they did, they created equality among the citizenship. They made everybody a peasant, other than the people in government. They're not peasants, and they got to live like kings for 40 years. Until finally, Ronald Reagan won the Cold War. And I don't have enough time to get into all of that right now. But now you've got Bernie, the poster child of democratic socialism. Not only he'll give you your $15 an hour if you come work for him, but you're not going to work enough hours to make that 50 or 60 or 70K a year. These people were complaining when they were making $36,000 a year. It averaged out to about $12 an hour. Bernie promises them a pay hike, and now he takes it back by cutting the hours. Kind of like when Obamacare got passed and every employer had to provide you with the Obamacare. So what did employers start doing? Cutting people's hours. You're part-time. Seattle mandated $15 an hour. And then we're astonished as the layoffs and the pink slips started flying and businesses started pulling out, and all these people that were so excited, I'm going to make $15 an hour selling magazines at a 7-Eleven. Only to find out, though, they're only going to get that $15 an hour for the 6 hours a week, not even a day, a week they're on the schedule. Let this be a lesson learned to you young progressive ones. There is only so much money. It can only be divided up just so many ways. And employers will simply decide to do less. Bernie, going after Walmart. Got to pay that $15 an hour. And what's happened to Walmart? Walk in one. Try to find anybody on the floor that can actually help you find anything. You have to go to the service desk now. You have to say, look, over in your seasonal section, you got swimming pools. I'd like one. And then they got to get on the radio and they got to call somebody. And you go back there and you wait. And finally, some dude shuffles out, helps you with the pool or the barbecue grill or whatever it is that you asked for. But it takes forever now to get any help. And when you really are ready to just cash out your stuff, go to the self-help line, go to the self-serve line, go to the self-checkout line. Why? Well, we're not actually going to hire people to work here now. I walked in one of these places the other day. It was Kroger supermarket. And again, they're trying to funnel everybody to the self-checkout. They also want to give you a scanner that you can scan as you go and then, run the plastic through, and you never even have to go to the self-checkout. And I said to one of the young kids there, I said, you know, they're automating you out of a job, number one. Number two, what's next? To, you know, get coupons and save money here? I got to come in a little bit earlier than I need the groceries and stock the shelves. I can do that now for the company for free. This is where all of this is heading. Because when an Andrew Yang says, oh, we have got to provide $1,000 a month safety net for all adults because all of their jobs are being automated and taken away. They're being taken away because people like Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders and their party are financially crippling the businesses that could actually hire people. Think about that. I know that's not what young people usually do. They just want to instinctively react, positive or negative, based on whether or not they like the information they're hearing. But think about it. Bernie Sanders is now paying the price for all of his big promises that he can't deliver. Now ask yourself about the rest of that Democratic clown car. What things are they promising, like reparations, free health care for everyone, free college for everyone? None of which they can actually deliver. They are a party of promises because they want to buy your vote because they have no substance to run on. That's it. That's my rant for today. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you smack the bell so that you get my next rant. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Share this video and make sure you're a subscriber.